Well, I hate to break up this meeting of the Campfire Girls, but let's get to work!
The following podcast has been recorded by LIM.
From taverns across Chicagoland to St. Joe's Park in Joliet to the world of podcasting, they're upholding the good name of Chet Gunderson and letting the old styles flow. They are the lovely, intoxicated men. And this is the Lovely Intoxicated Podcast.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Lovely Intoxicated Podcast. Joining us this week is Double J. We have also Smiley McGee. We have
Hello.
Tony Babagool Ross filling in for Tony Gabagool. And we have our newest contributor and my team partner in P Generation Maximus Orion.
We are not going to start
Dude,
that
it's
way.
so clever.
It's not.
It's so clever.
Does he always start this with a dad joke?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
Because I don't get enough of this. It's set up.
It's my MO, my modus operandi, and I don't know other. That's the only Latin words I know. So that's that.
That's not a thing, and it will never be a thing. I just want that noted. Okay, cool.
Latin is already a thing, but like
Not
Generation
LIM.
Max, that will be a thing.
No,
it won't.
no, we never
Like think
will.
about guys. Think
No,
about
no,
G-
no,
G
no,
Generation X.
Yeah,
No.
Generation
we
X.
understand, but no.
It sounds
No,
like
no.
it.
No.
Smiley, what do you think of P Generation Max?
Let's just say, let's just bury that hatchet and call it a day, Pat.
Even you're not on my side. What the
If I hear
hell?
that one more time, I'm protesting by myself outside COD.
And I'll be like, hey, it's my team. I'll walk up to my work and be like, hey, it's my team partner.
And then you won't be able to get any
Generation
work
X.
done because I'm going to screw up your other eye with a punch.
He
Yep.
doesn't do any work.
Oh, that's, well, memes and taking a lunch break.
I also do loans and things of that nature.
Can I have some money?
You gotta.
Yeah, because
apply.
I could totally use some money too, you know.
Well, this isn't a FAFSA workshop, so I can't really give you guys that. We have some special guests waiting for us, and it's a perfect time to have Maximus Orion start because this March show is going to mark the 5th anniversary of Rocket Pro Wrestling's first show, Blast Off. So we have some special guests coming in tonight to discuss that with us, and we're going to do another old style session. So this is it's a different take from what we normally do. It's more behind the scenes. It's more of an interview format. And we have a lot of questions and a lot of things that we want to talk about. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready to bring in the co-owner of Rocket Pro Wrestling?
Yes.
Are you ready to bring in who is going to be the newest member of the Lovely Intoxicated Men this May at Fan Access?
Yes.
Are you ready to bring in the VHS of Rocket Pro Wrestling?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to welcome to the Lovely Intoxicated Podcast for the very first time, Mr. Bill Schelli. And
I heard he was going to maybe come to this.
I heard
Funny
he
thing
might come
is
to
that I
this.
I
can
heard
hear
the- I
him
heard
testing
rumor.
his audio in the other room.
I'm painting a family portrait right now of the beautiful Shelley family. That's why Tony Babagool Ross is here to paint you a picture of this beautiful family and all they do for wrestling. Love you guys.
You dear. There we go.
There we go. It's
There they
Shelley
are.
and Bill Schelli.
How you
What's up,
doing?
guys?
Hello, guys. How are you?
Living the dream, man.
Good. So, this March show is going to mark the 5th year anniversary of Blast Off, the first Rocket Pro Wrestling show. So
even I didn't know that.
I was doing my research, getting ready for this episode, and I realized that, and I thought, what a perfect time for all of us to come on here and talk about and reflect on the past 5 years of Rocket Pro Wrestling and talk about maybe what's to come. So, and I guess Maximus, this is a question for you too. Guys' favorite memories from that first show.
Favorite memories.
I got chopped by 19 other guys. Favorite memories.
Or
you got chopped? Aren't you just like a toddler back then? Like a little kid?
I would say drinking whiskey with Mitch Raines at 6 o'clock in the morning and setting up the show for the first time. And you know what? I got to tell you this. We had to bring that ring from the backyard in Downers Grove for that first show. So, and it was cold. So that steel was cold. And I don't care what gloves you had on, it was cold. So we backed the truck up like all the way to the gate, but we still had to bring that stuff around and through the back door because you couldn't make it through there with that 20-foot things and make that turn. And really, the park was not ready for us to be there with that ring at that point either. And the floor was still the old floor. So we weren't as worried as we are today about the floor, but bringing that shit in was not fun. We had no idea where we were going to put the commentators. We had I don't even think we had commentators for show. Did we?
We did, but we weren't running it collectively like we do now. I had each gaming headset plugged into their cell phones and recording off of that. And because Blackburn was the only one with an iPhone, it wouldn't fucking plug in. So, so the whole show, all you hear is Blackburn's senseless blurb here and there. And then the rest of it was Bill and Mom. So that was it. And it sounded like absolute crap.
Oh, that's right. We had Bill Downing.
That's right.
Right. Bill Downing and Blackburn and Schelli was the big commentary team. No ramp. That was the only show without the ramp.
Did we build the ramp at the second show?
David built the ramp at the second show before it. Remember, because he was all crabby putting it together?
Let's rephrase that.
Newcastle.
David built the ramp poorly.
David built the ramp poorly, right? And then, we've always had a ramp ever since. So only one show did we not because we couldn't see anybody on camera when they walked out.
And honestly, like looking back at some of that old footage as I was preparing for today, I didn't even think about it. Like it definitely had that different look. But now that I'm like thinking about it, that's what I was missing.
Well, how the hell did the wrestlers get off of that rig?
They didn't. We didn't put them there. We were on the floor. Because remember, if you look at it, we had because Sean was because we laughed about it later because Bruno Jakubowski, was right next to the entrance curtain, just clapping and standing the entire time, and he was there. We had the security table, and then we had the bell table, so it was like right there, and we just walked out in between it with the lighting rig. We didn't have the risers. The only thing that was on the riser was commentary.
Well,
the commentary was on the risers.
That right there kind of answers your question. I mean, that was we made it happen. Then the years of putting the tarps, which some of you guys, LIM members, have helped put those stupid tarps outside. Mm-hmm. What a blessing it is to have that job done.
I remember putting those tarps up above the windows to block the sun, and now having those Velcro, was that carpet?
Yeah,
that's indoor-outdoor carpeting.
So, like, having that. It looks like it brings out the lights a lot more in that arena. And I think we can all pretty much agree. Like
it's better.
Yes.
So much better.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Missy said it's much better for her pictures and everything. So we just decided to keep it. We only put it up because of the sun ruining the show. But then she's like, no, please don't take it down. Leave it because it doesn't. It makes it look it looks neater.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
cleaner. It looks cleaner.
There's also no any reflecting at all because when the tarps were on the outside, you still had the windows on the inside. Right. So all of our lights would come back. Missy's camera the flash would come back, all of it. So thank God.
Right.
Now, Schelli, we talked, you mentioned a little bit about being on commentary. So starting this company, what what made you gravitate towards having that be part of your role on top of your other responsibilities in Rocket Pro?
I was told you're doing commentary.
Easy enough.
So there you go. Doing my favorite part about it was when you start up a company and you have no idea of the costs, and that's my job. I'm the CFO, and so then I have production coming to me going, yeah. So I just ordered 4 headsets at $200 a piece. I said, what? I'm sorry, what? He goes, I can't continue to try to work the audio with the phone, and I can't hear anybody. So yeah, I was just told you're going to be on commentary, and you're just color. You don't need to know anything about anything. Just sit there and give Blackburn a hard time. So I did.
You must have really done some research to find that blast off poster you just had up there.
Yeah, we went. Gabagool definitely has been cruising through the
We don't even
Pro
have that
page, and
No, we didn't make posters. That's when we were still cutting it out of like Microsoft or the printer paper and making copies at the school, and then trying to use that giant cutter thing, and it would just fold the things, and then they were all like,
yeah, I mean, I forgot we had the Power Ranger dude.
I forgot about the Chic. I'm looking at it going to the
And look at like Kevin looks like 5 years younger.
Well, we've aged
like
Kevin
10.
quite a bit.
Yep.
no,
Yeah, you know what? It was a good show even then. I mean, we had people there. It wasn't packed, but it was a good show even then. The kids were all chanting Burger King for Miles Mercer. I'll never forget that. And then next show, they brought Burger King hats in.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You can have it your way. That's the beauty of it.
That's right. As it pops up.
Now, Maximus, you said something about getting chopped by 19 people. For people unfamiliar, so how did that happen?
So your initiation as a wrestler right when you start is whatever match you're supposed to be in. One of the veterans that you're fighting is supposed to give you a chop. I was like, all right, who am I starting? Well, I'm starting with Rion, right? And Kevin's like, yeah, you start with Rion. So I was like, all right, I'll start with Rion because I trained with him. So I was like, all right, this will be fine. And he goes, my chops are hard. I'm like, it's okay. I'm only, you're doing 2, 3, and then we're done. Little did I know that Kevin was backstage, and right before the buzzer hit for every single guy, he would tell them, go give Maximus chops. So every guy that would enter the ring would give me chops, and I was final 5 in the Rumble, and I started at number 2. So Rion gave me chops. The ones that hurt the most were Rion, Stone, and oh God, who gave me a chop that just rattled my chest. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Joey Blues. I'm not sure. Although I know that when the Power Ranger came out, Caesar Dragon, he went to do one. I was so fed up because he was like 17 or something. I just caught his arm, and I guess I wasn't supposed to. So he was like, "You're not supposed to catch my arm when I do that." I'm like, "Excuse me." 17 guys just gave me 3 chops apiece. I'm going to catch your arm. And then I ended up having like this big red mark. And then from the whole thing, I ended up getting sick, and I had the worst hold imaginable after that. And I was down for about 5 days. So.
Welcome to the business, kid.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Now I'm reluctant to take chops. I will never take a Marche chop. And then I'm going to chop you.
Question.
No, you're not. You're not going to chop me. You're not. Here's an extra $100 on your pay. You're not chopping me. This came from Schelli? No, it came from my wallet. Don't chop me.
So, we've talked about the start of Rocket Pro, and, we're going to keep on that track. So how did the idea for Rocket Pro come about? I know you guys have told this story a lot of times, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that listen to this show that may not know that story.
All right, I can tell you. When I graduated college, my father bought me a $4,500 1982 Trans Am, like Smokey and the Bandit 3 or Kit from Knight Rider. And I told my son, up to $5,000 when you graduate college. He graduated HVAC school at College of DuPage. I said you could have whatever you want, car, this, whatever, $5,000. It turned out he's like, Dad, I want a wrestling ring.
I said no.
And I said, all right, a wrestling ring, like order the one you want. This is like a WWE style ring. So we'll order 18 by 18.
Training ring, right? Because it was low.
No, it wasn't train. No,
It was
wasn't
standard
training.
ring.
It was standard,
Yep.
but it was 18 because it was about $1,000 cheaper.
So a couple weeks later, Will gets a phone call or an email from the company that makes the rings that somebody stood them up on a 20 by 20 ring, and he'd be willing to give it to us for the same price just to get out of his warehouse. So of course we said, yeah. So we got this ring coming, and you've seen my house, some of you guys, it's not very big. We wound up putting it in the garage and building the pylons in the yard, 20 by 20 pylons, which are still out there, which I think you've seen, PX.
I have, yes.
The humble beginnings of RPW were out there. Well, we spent more time trying to keep the rain off of that thing.
2 years.
If it was a nice day out in the summer, it was so hot in the ring that it was almost impossible to do anything. So Kevin would come over and train Will, and they would wrestle around in there. I would wrestle in there, half in the bag. We had some fun with it. But Pro Blitz stopped running at St. Joe's Park. And I said, you know what? Let's just start a company and get this gosh darn thing out of my yard.
I said no.
And she said no again about starting the company.
Because I knew.
So I went to Father Tim and I said, hey, you know what? If you give us the park, we'll start up wrestling, because a lot of parishioners and people were asking if wrestling would ever come back. Because, let's face it, Pro Blitz was it in Joliet for many, many years. That's where I got the idea to even do this, is because I knew what they did and how we can do it. And I would sit at the bar in Chet Gunderson's spot, which he took over from me, actually. And I would only come out for like Billy Whack or any of the heels. Shogun, if Shogun came out, I would go out and watch. Grin. Certain people I would go watch, but not, I would mostly stay in the bar. Once we started the company and Father Tim gave us the green light, blast off happened. And, it took a little bit to get that in. Our company was actually formed on October 11th, which is Chet Gunderson's birthday.
2018.
In 2018, but we couldn't run because you have to get everything in order, all your finances, your bank accounts, all that. So it took about that long, and then there it is. Blast off was March 9th, which, again, thank you for bringing that up, because I would not have remembered that.
No, we don't have.
Especially not with the WGN thing and Chicago Bear Hug and Jose being on WGN. We're going to be packed to the 9th, so my focus was there, not 5 years ago.
And they did great on WGN.
It was amazing. It was great.
A very good representation for the company and the local wrestling scene, for sure. And even like you said about Pro Wrestling Blitz, I know me and Gabagool, we used to go to the shows, and Smiley McGee also was there. I think Double J, I don't think you've ever been to a Blitz show.
No, I never went to a Blitz show. My parents would usually get me tickets to, like, if a WWE or Ring of Honor show came through.
Yeah, and we would always go to those shows because they'd always have the different legends. And they were a lot of fun, and there was a lot of great local talent. So when Rocket Pro started coming around, me and Gabagool, there was one January day we were just like, we got to check this company out. And I remember it was Resolution 2020. It was snowing like crazy, and we still made it out to that show. And I was talking with Maximus earlier about all the memories from that day, the Falls Count Anywhere match between Mark Reconcile and Aaron Stone, Maximus fighting the blue guy, musical chairs, Rion.
It was a phthalo blue, okay? Phthalo blue, the blue true blue color, guys.
Now, Maximus, what made you decide to become a professional wrestler as all of this is going on?
Oh, wow. That's a one-word answer, and that's Undertaker. That is a very, very easy answer. I always
first see him.
What?
When you first saw him.
When I first saw him, that was okay. So I actually remember the exact date. It's February 19th, 2010. And I was not a wrestling fan. Did not care. I was nope. Star Wars 100% all the way. That was it. There was no. I mean, Ghostbusters maybe a little bit, but
We
there
weren't
was
watching in the house either because it
there
got
was no.
a little raunch. And
Well,
then
it was they stopped watching when the whole DX thing started and the Suck It and all that stuff. So they stopped watching because I was like 2 when that happened.
right, you can't do that.
So my cousin was really into it, and it was 2010, and for her first communion present, they got her tickets to what we thought was SmackDown, but at that time we didn't know house shows existed. So it was, remember, they would tape SmackDown on Tuesday, air it on Friday, but if there was a house show, it was on Friday.
Right.
So we went, and we're sitting through it and blah blah blah. And I remember there was
well,
one
keep
match.
in mind, the only seats we could get were directly, so we're up in the balcony,
Right.
and we are directly across from the ramp, so you could see the whole entrance. We weren't on the sides, like
we were in 214.
We and P.
Yeah, row P, 214, and there was, at a house show, there's no big stage setup, and now there is, but not before. It was a curtain with basically what we have now. There wasn't even a Tron, so I think we have more than they had at house shows in 2010. And there was a few where I didn't really understand that it was 100% fake, and I'm like, oh, good thing that guy rolled out of the way because, he would have got landed on and blah, blah, blah. And the main event was on the road to WrestleMania for WrestleMania 26. It was Randy Orton, Batista, and Sheamus versus Edge, John Cena, and The Undertaker. Now, I mean, think about that 6-man tag. I mean, that's insane. And I heard Cena's music hit, and I remember thinking, what kind of mariachi Mexican shit is this? Because I didn't understand, the first time you hear that song, it does just what it sounds like. And and then the whole show, I was asking, I'm like, so when's the Undertaker? How do you know he's walking out?
Because that was we went to see him because that was my niece's favorite. So Will knew of nobody. I mean, he was on the edge of his seat the whole time, and we're watching. He goes, "Oh my God, thank God that guy rolled out of the way." And I go, "It's not his turn to win." He goes, "How do you know?" And I said, "Watch." And the guy,
I think it was Shawn Michaels went over on the Miz or Morrison or something. So Cena comes out, and then the lights drop and the gong hits, and I can't even remember the beginning of it. All I remember is the blue lights and him walking through the curtain, and at that point I was hooked. And then we started watching SmackDown because that Undertaker was exclusively on SmackDown at that point. We started watching that, and then we got to WrestleMania 26. Streak versus career match, my first WWE pay-per-view I've ever watched. Didn't watch the Elimination Chamber that year, nothing. So that was my first pay-per-view that I ever watched. And after that match, I'm like, this is something I want to do. And I remember when I was at Downers Grove South telling my counselor, because now it's completely off the table, I do not want to be a WWE superstar. No, thank you. I'm not being on the road for 200-something days. No, I'm not doing it. So... But that's what I told him, is that I wanted to be a wrestler, and he laughed. And I'm like, all right. It's like, I know there's kids that come in here that say they want to be a rocket scientist or some shit. And you're like, that's a great path. Like, bro, no, that's not going to happen either. I have a better chance of fighting Undertaker at WrestleMania than, Kelly from Algebra 1 has of being a rocket scientist. So I remember him, and I'm like, okay, okay. Fine.
I think you should put him into a Hell's Gate. What do you think?
Well, I honestly probably could have, although he was a little large, so I would have had to grab onto the sausage roll on the back of his neck. But so after that, I was like, all right. And then we randomly met. My dad would always go into Menards at 4:00 in the morning, and Kevin was the general manager at the Bolingbrook Menards. Mm-hmm. For many years, he was the GM there, because the only way you can get promoted or demoted is you have to move stores. Whatever. Okay. So then we started going, and we would talk wrestling with Kevin. My mom and I would go to the store, or if we would go after mass, whenever we would go to Menards, and Kevin was always there. Dude worked like all day. Like, I don't even know how he did it. And then it came to the point where he was like, well, if you want to start training, I can take you to, it was wherever Rian was. It was in the small arena with the garage door that opened up. Was it CWA? Is that it? Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
I think I know, because I've heard.
No, it was in Dalton.
It was in Dalton, Illinois, right? So I only went one time because I'm like, I don't need to get shot to run the ropes, right? Like, no thanks. That's just kind of what it's. Yeah, I mean, I'm just like Kevin's like, so we're going down here. It's not bad, but don't look out the window. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So we did that whole wrestling training, and then that was way before, like that was a year and a half before we even got the ring. And I mean, you should have seen the neighbors' faces when that truck backed in, and she's calling because he wasn't home. She's calling the neighbors, and she called Benoit and Bruiser Newcastle. What is it, Mitch McConnell?
That's what the neighbor's reaction was. Sorry. I'm over here, guys. I'm painting on the fly. I can only do what my brush tells me, okay? It's a tough job out here for an artiste.
I just wasn't expecting Mitch McConnell to pop up. But
you go where the inspiration takes you.
What you have to realize is, yeah. The neighbors came over and they were like, I'm sorry, we're unloading what? Because there's this big, I mean, it wasn't like just a delivery truck. I mean, this was like an 18-wheeler trying to back into our driveway on a residential street, you know?
Right.
So
and
the neighbors.
And this is the truck driver. He wouldn't help them at all. He'd go, oh, you got that 20 by 20 steel beam? Yeah, okay. He watched them do it.
Yeah.
And they were struggling. You've seen those things.
We got four neighbors, Benoit, David, like that's who, and you know, and then we got the ring off and we built the pylons, and then because it was too hot to use or too wet, it became a clothesline for her sheets or a place for birds to sit on the ropes and shit on the whole ring. So
it was a nice place to hang your laundry too.
Yeah, after a while, I just seen like all four ropes it was like a four corners match, except it was just bed sheets on the ropes
and a blanket
and a couple blankets. So you know, and you know that's how. But I'm like, you know, I think I can sort of do it. And I mean, am I the greatest? Hell no. Just like that one dude a year and a half ago that when I was leaving the ring, he's like, Undertaker's better. No shit. Thank you. I wasn't aware of that Undertaker was better than me until that guy said it at Cupid's Carnage last year. I have to tell you, at that point, I was really relieved that now I finally have a firm grasp on the fact that the Undertaker may be better than me. So, you know, I mean, I have to live with that now, unfortunately, knowing that the Undertaker's better than me. But I move along day by day. Sometimes I want to cry about it, but I don't, you know, but thank God that guy said it. It really snapped me back into reality.
I want to open it up to the rest of LIM if anybody has any questions they might want to ask. It looks like Double J might want to ask a question or two.
Yeah, so I know the rest of the guys really had like memories of going to shows, but I wasn't living in Illinois at the time. And when I came and started going to shows, it was like in the post-COVID era. So I was just curious, like, how did COVID affect you all if you started like early kind of 2019 then and stuff? Like, it seems like it might have had a deep effect right when you guys were getting started. So maybe like talk to us about what that was like managing through that and then coming back from it.
It was tough. Attendance would drop, obviously, but the indoor restrictions on people is what was the killer. Then we were allowed 75 people to be in, and that was like right after the big lockdown. And went to Father Tim and said, hey man, let us get in there and film some segments, which was a combination of ideas from Will, Kevin, and Gunnar Brave, which was the best of the Midwest competition. And that is, believe it or not, that was one of the things that actually helped our stories out, because we were introduced to the Coyotes. And they came in, and Christian Rose, I can still remember this phrase. I thought I was coming to some shit show, and I walk into this. He goes, this is fantastic. Nobody has productions like this. And I'm like, well, thank you for the compliment. They all loved it. We all loved them. So that helped push us forward. We filmed 30 matches, Will? We filmed 30 matches, and
let me rephrase that. I had to edit 30 matches.
Then also it was actually 31, and it was the first time and the last time that we went Facebook Live for the Tyler Bodine match.
Versus Flash. That's when Flash Harris got the Inter-County Championship off of Tyler, and then of course I was the next one to take it from him. But that's how long he held that, was from Best in the Midwest tournament all the way until Fall Brawl when I beat him for it.
And you want to take somebody to breakfast? Tyler Bodine will eat waffles, eggs, and a steak.
Don't take this guy over here. That's Jeff Steeples. He could eat the whole restaurant.
That was the guy that broke Chet's leg.
Yeah,
that was.
You know what? Because of that, I'm going to erase this picture. What a terrible guy. We don't want any happy
I think someday that Chet may have a come to Jesus meeting with him.
Oh,
I think he needs to.
You never know.
Well, he comes to town once in a while, and he knows he's got an open invitation at RPW. So that would work. So back to your question about the pandemic. That kept us alive, Double J, from during the hard months of the pandemic, when everybody was freaking out unnecessarily. We were putting out a match a week or a match every other week. And people were kind of watching just to see who was going to win that. And then Gunner Brave, of course, wound up being on top of that one. And that's really what got us through the pandemic. It actually made us stronger because then people were itching to get out. And we had time to rethink our marketing strategies and what we want to do. Right at the tail end of that pandemic in I was doing an air conditioning job, and I met Jimmy Provenzali, our current marketing guy from Fast Forward Designs. And he loved the idea so much that he offered to help us market it for a low fee. And he had just changed everything. He branded us. The RPW purple, the RPW logo, everything that we do even currently today does not happen without Will and Jimmy doing it. It gives us a good hinge, you know what I mean, to go off of. So that's what really made us stronger, was the pandemic actually gave us the swift kick in the ass that we needed, so to speak, to get out of a independent wrestling show and become an entertainment company, which is what we like to boast ourselves as being.
And I mean, I feel like with a lot of that, like that resurgence or like of coming out of the pandemic, it must have added a lot of challenges to production, because it seems like it gets better and better every show. Can you maybe like walk us through all of that changes that has happened with production?
That's just me being picky now. Because I was done with the red turnbuckle covers. I was done with the bird shit covered canvas that also had Tyler Bodine and Gunner Brave's blood on it. I was so tired of just the generic look, and I'm like, well, if we have this new logo, if our color is purple, why don't we have there's only a handful of companies that have consistently their show ropes are purple. Like it's maybe a one-off for a holiday or for whatever, or a special event. Ours are consistently purple. SmackDown's is consistently blue. Raw's is red, and so on. So I just went with, I'm like, we got to do purple. And we had to get new turnbuckle pads, because when you hit that, you were hitting that metal. It was like, they sucked.
Yeah, we saw it too.
Okay. I was like, I need black turnbuckle covers, the sleeves. I'm like, I can't do the red anymore. What part of our product is red? None. I had to get rid of the white ropes. I said, we got to do a black canvas. It looks way more clean. So we kind of were like, all right, well, if we don't hit this hard now at Darkness Falls, and I mean, there's even growth from Darkness Falls to the end of that season, let alone to now. But I'm like, if we don't hit this hard, we're screwed. If we come back with the same we got new ropes too. Not just, the purple's just tape. The ropes were new. Everything was just like, okay, padding. This is a refresh. Is this? Yeah, we got the new padding at that point. It's just like, okay, now this is Rocket Pro. The other stuff was, we were getting started. We had a year. I'm actually glad we had the pandemic, because we had that many months to buy, change everything, and come up with new ideas for everything and new storylines and stuff. We scrapped, I would say, 90% of all of the old storylines that were there, aside from Flash having the Intercounty title and the idols starting to take over, that was it. I mean, we there was only a few storylines that we kept. And we even tried to keep going with the Maximus turns face and saves the blue guy, but that even fell through, and I just went in that completely different direction of trying to take out the idols and Flash Harrison them. So you just had to we had to just hit it hard. Otherwise it was going to fail. There was no doubt in my mind it would have failed if we would have stayed with the white with the red and all that other stuff. 100% would have been done.
Good answer.
Good answer. Is this what we?
Family Feud. Good.
Yeah, good answer.
Yeah.
Smiley, I know you had a question that you wanted to ask. You were messaging me. You're hankering at the bit.
Just wanted to know what your guys over the last 5 years, what your favorite RPW moment has been.
The casket match for me. I absolutely love the casket match. It was fun for me to market. I was doing the flyers back then, which is why they looked like, shitty. Hey, but what do you expect at 3 o'clock in the morning? You know what I mean? I get up at 3, I would do something just to get it out there and get fans inside that arena. But let's just say Marche and Grin in a casket match is a very easy market thing. I mean, that markets itself. There's a lot involved too with the hearse and getting the guy there for the hearse. He had to have the casket, he had to have the gurney. I like that one was probably my favorite. And if you remember, that was Chet Gunderson. He did the old style beer at that show.
Yeah.
And he had the later hosen on. So I know Chet was hammered at that one. But that's because everybody wants to drink with the guy.
Old style. There you look what he painted. Baba Ghoul.
That was a quick paint
Got
job.
that up there quick.
I think the frog's on there and the guy peeing too, even.
There you go. My favorite would be, I guess, the return of Grin. And then the return of all 3 rings. Like for me, that's a fan moment. People are like, well, I remember one person said to me, well, does your husband know? And I said, no, about what? And they're like, well, about how much you like Grin. I go, it's a fan thing. Fan, we all do it when his music hits.
Yeah.
Everybody loses their minds. So that for me was the return of Grin, I think. And I don't even know when that was because I'm so busy I can't remember, but just his return.
That was the Darkness Falls that we came back.
Was it?
That was after the last ride match with Shogun and Marche. Yeah.
I'm trying to see if Double J has the show on his calendar on the wall.
That's from January, so there is an RPW show on there. See it in the up corner right over there is the RPW.
Yeah.
I'm also a busy man, and my calendar is not updated, so I've missed a lot of things in a month.
I felt like you were pointing at the WrestleMania sign behind you.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He's just pointing to when the ComEd bill is due. Okay.
Yeah, I just paid that. So, yeah.
Shit, did I miss my payment?
No, the
don't wanna
website's
do that.
currently
My
down.
light's been flickering, so it's
But
either the ComEd bill or Shaq Jordan's hiding somewhere.
Jordan.
Shaq Joe?
It's my only light source. Shaq, please.
Well, Will, you got to give him your favorite match.
Maximus, what's yours?
Ooh.
You know him better than anybody.
Honestly, most people are expecting me to say the one where I won the Intercounty title from Flash. And as much as I enjoyed that match and loved that match, for some reason, my favorite match would be me versus Rion in the Last Man Standing at Kicks on 66. But my favorite moment has to be the whole thing when Rion turned on me, because I'd never seen Shogun that happy that we pulled that off so well that he's reposting it. This is wrestling, and send it on Facebook. Like, he reposted that like 6 times once I had the videos out, because the shock, like, I have that camera up above the bar. You can see the wrestlers standing over by Ben and my dad. You got Quinn was over there. Shogun was over there. There was so many people over there that just went like this, because I didn't even write that on the script. They just went, like that, and you got the whole audience to have that reaction.
It was quiet.
We really tried to do that John Cena, Mark Henry thing. I mean, you guys noticed that right away, that's what that fake retirement, that's what that was.
Yeah.
But it was just, I don't know. That was my favorite thing, my favorite moment. Match, the kicks on 66. Moment would be when he turned on me, because I still have yet to get a reaction like that. Maybe the pops when Darth Vader walks through the curtain. Maybe that's a close second to moments. But other than that, I mean, you really can't beat that. That's still, to me, that's my favorite thing to go back and watch, is that promo and all that stuff. So,
and when you guys came to save me in the ring, because Damian Gray had the baseball bat, and it was in my throat. I just want you to know that it was in my throat. He went, and I went. Anybody, when they started to come, and the fans, and someone told me Shaq Jordan was screaming like a little girl over on the side when Shogun came out. That was a great moment, because no one was expecting it. That's just good writing, is what that is. Yeah, that was good.
Now
you're welcome.
Before you get carried away there, Statrick, I want to ask a question specifically for Schelli. Okay, so let me get out my handy paintbrush here.
All right.
Let me paint you a portrait of my cousin, Tony Gabagool's favorite moment. Schelli, can you tell us a little bit about this night when you stepped into the ring and you became the Italian hero that you are?
Well, thank you. It was just a matter of, well, I could tell you when I came out, it was really cool because I couldn't even hear my music because everybody was cheering, and all the Italian flags, which was awesome. And I have not that I didn't have respect, but I really have a lot of respect. When you just get in that ring, it's so dry in there. And the way we did it was so that it was kind of like a dance. You memorized what you needed to do. Like Christian Rose said when he was working with us, we're not expecting this to be a great match. It's just great because of what it is. So, yeah, it was really dry. And when you see me crawling to the corner, I'm literally crawling to the corner and gagging because my throat had stuck to itself. And I was just praying that I didn't, throw up or pass out at that point. But yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun and exhausting, and it was good. It was, like I said, the entrance coming out when I couldn't hear my music. That was the most awesome part that I
call it. We call that the Schelli pop, never to be topped again.
It was pretty cool.
That was a pop. I mean, that was good.
The Road Warriors, they don't know nothing, okay? There's no Road Warrior pop. There's the Schelli pop.
The Schelli pop. Thank you. Hopefully we'll be having another one.
Oh, I look forward to it. Very good.
Thank you.
So I know we've talked a little bit about events as time has gone on, but really over the past 5 years, I'm sure different challenges. Obviously, we've talked about COVID, but what other challenges coming into starting Rocket Pro, what other things have you experienced that other people might not realize? Like, what are the challenges of starting?
Well, one of the things is we got to keep our costs at that level of money. You see some other promotions that are run at 20 and 25. Well, their shows don't have as many families as us. So it's been a challenge keeping our prices where they are because expenses on our end are going up. And you guys know, because you're a part of this, none of us get paid. Thank God for LIM and the Knights of Columbus, because that's who gives us their time and their labor. We've become a family, and that takes that challenge, that hardship out of it, because we're family. We all play around. We all have a good time until it's time to break up the meeting of the Campfire Girls. Then you're going to see me. But I don't even have to. All I got to do is give you guys a look now. I don't have to say anything.
He is such a quick.
I was just busy with my brush there, Mr. Schelli, and this is what I came up with. What's your thoughts, sir?
So you know what? That's it. That's the hugest challenge.
Hold on. I'm getting a little more. Man. I'm getting a little more inspiration here. Tell me what. It's just a beautiful portrait of a couple friends of mine.
You are good, sir. You are good.
I like it. we need Bruno
PX, we ain't ever
Garibaldi
living
on
that
there.
down.
Hey, you might have to send me
Mike
that
Hunt.
so I could throw that up at intermission too. Just that logo right there.
We need that on a
Well,
t-shirt.
Yes, we do.
I will say it does go good with my eyes. I'm just saying.
It does. The orange. It works
Is
for you.
Woe He Low like one of their things?
It's what we say when Mr. Shelley's coming to break us up.
Whoa, He Low. You know what? Shelly's an enabler because she brings campfire snacks.
I do.
That does not help anything.
You got to feed the people.
Right, next month it'll be marshmallows, graham crackers, and chocolate.
Well, which is what I was asking anybody if I could get for them. You want me to grab some marshmallows or something? No. But anyway, with the challenges, it's all financial. You guys know I've had troubles with the lights. As you've noticed as of late, in the past 2.5 years, maybe 2 years, because we had a lot of struggles before that. We got the lights under control. It's all wired in. I was thinking, hey, maybe I'll go wireless. Will said WWE doesn't have wireless. You don't have wireless. You know, so there are going to be some new surprises coming up, but we're going to keep things at a minimum for the rest of this season and knock your socks off next season, just so that the LIM and other people are aware. The park did sign a contract for next year. So you saw the list of dates go out. We are signed and locked in at our current rate for next year, barring any unforeseen bulldozers.
So just pray that the bishop doesn't want that property too bad, and we can.
No matter what happens, RPW will survive.
We'll just have to find a new venue, but we're hoping to stay there. So more challenges would be.
No, that's home now. You know, it'd be like somebody kicking you out of your house.
Each section. So you've got each person has their own lane. So, you know, Ask Will Production has its own. I mean, I don't know, something happened at a show and there was, you know, anarchy and anger and people running around. And I had to stop the other powers that be and go, look, this is a live show. This is a live show. We are, you're right, like that. Look. So we have our own. And now we have, after the show, we used to just have one meeting, which would be with Kevin and my husband and Will, and we would talk about what we were going to do. Now we have 2 meetings after the show because we've grown so much that we have I don't know, we call it a Benny, Cat, and Dave meeting. So whatever Benny has going on sound and what improvements we need to make.
So it's audio, sound,
and kitchen.
Crowd and crowd control and kitchen and admissions.
That's me too.
Because that is completely separate from production and bookings. And by the way, as long as I got you guys all on one podcast here, thank you so much for helping Shelly out. It's a madhouse. And ever since LIM has been involved with ushering, that's taken some of it down.
There we go.
A huge amount of stress off of Shelly, off of me, because I'm not worried about her. I know why she doesn't talk to me at the show. She's just too crazy to talk.
I didn't think I needed to.
No, she doesn't. But thank you guys for helping out. By the way, who's helping?
I already know it's Gabagool and Double J.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And PX is gonna
do stuff.
Manage it.
I'm gonna do the things.
The things. He's got things.
I'm manager of the things.
The things.
Yes.
See, you never realize how difficult it is to stay in your lane when you actually have to do it. Because you've got the production lane, you've got the financial lane, and you've got the arena lane, and then you've got the booking and storyline lane. So, I mean, but the problem is that every single other one of, like, we all affect each other. Now, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but all of those affect me more than I affect anybody else.
Really? CFO? Really?
Because my production does not impede your CFO-ness unless I need to order a new piece of equipment, which I don't ever do.
Yes, it does.
No, because if you tell Kevin you can't book this, that changes my production. If I say the Quinn's coming out before Christian Rose, that does not change your finances.
No, it doesn't.
But, you know, if they have an idea back there and they don't tell me and Kevin, now my production's screwed up, but your finances will stay the same. But that also affects the arena because now Dad Ben are like, what the hell?
And Timmy.
You're
and
right,
commentary.
because then they get the red lights and it's the wrong color.
It's the wrong color. He clicks the wrong audio file. And then Timmy's announcing Christian Rose as, you know, KO Kendra or something. And it just turns into this thing. And you're just like, what's going on? Then this person's mad at this person. And guess who has to fix all that and run around? Because then I've got commentary doing this behind them, looking at me like I'm supposed to know why Christian Rose just kicked somebody in the nuts. You know, I can't fix it. And therein lies the live show. That's how we all look at him too.
Right. We do.
I think even the Undeniable look at him that way sometimes, if we're being honest.
Treat it.
Yeah.
So it's a chain. His finances affects who you can book. And then that gives you your production, which then production gives the arena what they need to do their job. But any one of those, there's one issue with any one of those, it's going to screw the rest of them up. So that's why the staying in your lane is very hard, because you want to, I could fix it because I'm right here. But then you're going into somebody else's lane. So you kind of just have to tell them, because when you try to fix somebody else's stuff, the only ones that might be able to fix each other's thing is me and Kevin with story, booking, and production. That's it. But the biggest key with all of it is communication. If we don't have communication half the time, goodbye. Yeah, it's gone. There was a show, and thank God the fans didn't notice as much. Harvest Havoc. If we could have had, I think we had an audio production issue once per match, and there was like 8 or 9 matches, including the ladder match, and there was a production or arena issue every single match. But it's a live show. There's nothing you can do about it. If the lights hit at a wrong time, or if one of the wrestlers goes off script and does what they want because they think they know better, what can I do? I can't rewind it. Right. I can't edit that half the time. So, I mean, I'm good, but I'm not that good. So that's just kind of how that goes.
Yeah, we had a bad outlet, case in point, for the projector. And it was losing its neutral. So we spent $400 on a brand new bulb for that projector, and it wasn't working. It turned out being the outlet had a poor neutral, and it wasn't grounded. So I fixed all that, and we never had that problem again. Heck, we watch pay-per-views there now.
Yeah. Have your screen go out in the middle of everything.
Oh, that's like hit the panic button, man. Or somebody tripped the GFI for the entire lighting rig right before Will's entrance. And that was a killer for me. Yeah, that picture says it all.
That was Christmas Chaos 2021. That was it. And I walk out and I have green lights. The lights in the ring are still on and no fog. And I'm like, it was a good thing I had the mask on at that time, because the words I was saying as I was walking out there were not PG at all. And it's probably worse than stuff I say on stream. So
that was,
So again, there goes in some of the things that we've overcome is some serious electrical issues at the park. The outlets are older than me, you know, that's pretty damn old, by the way. So a lot of that stuff we took care of, and a lot of that you guys were there for. Mm-hmm. So as you already know, those setup days are critical. By the way, I'm going in on Wednesday morning again.
I will be by the afternoon, evening.
Right. Josh, are you coming in on Friday to like spin around with a PVC pipe?
I had no idea I was supposed to be there on Friday.
Oh no, I was just asking if you were coming for setup, because you like to just, Josh, what are you doing? And you're like,
you know,
holding up the thing like the Statue of Liberty. One of my all-time favorite setup stories.
Well, he is a coat rack.
He is.
you know, that's his camp.
And what I said to those other guys, if I need anybody to stand around and look stupid, I'll let you know. How I was edgy that day. Sorry about the bug-eyed thing, Janine.
Right. I feel like that needs to be a banner next to Benotes on the wall.
What?
Campfire girls.
I think it should be.
Yes.
RPW setup crew, campfire girls.
That's right. Campfire. I think it should be. I'm telling you, you got to get it up there.
Yeah, we need that. Share that with us.
That black thing on the windows leaves plenty of space for advertising and campfire girls.
It's very well done.
And it'll be right behind you guys.
And it'll even have a picture of Baba Ghoul on there, and it'll say painted by Baba Ghoul Ross, and we'll just put it right at the bottom with his arms crossed with a paintbrush.
You know, I thank you greatly for the credit, because us artists, we don't always get credit.
No,
they don't always get credit for Google Images.
Okay, now you got to calm down with that. We don't want a happy accident, okay?
We're talking a little bit about production. So, Bill, you know, for those who don't know what exactly goes into a production of a Rocket Pro show, especially with as high quality as Rocket Pro prides itself on that production, what's that experience like? Take us behind the scenes of all of that. What goes into those days?
Well, you know, you get in there, the first thing you got to do is pull out all the bins full of crap. And they're all kind of categorized. And I leave the wrestling ring stuff on the bottom because it's the heaviest. So I leave all that stuff on the bottom, and then we pull all the bins out. And the first thing, and I know Josh knows because Josh has been there from day one with me. The other guys who have jobs that are working during the day couldn't be there when we were doing it. We put the tables in the back. I always have 2 tables in the back. You guys have seen them. The garbage can goes in a specific spot. Josh knows where to put that garbage can. You know where to put that garbage can. That all stuff goes there. All my bins go underneath. Here's the wrestling bins. Those all go over by the ring where the ring's going to go. But don't put them against the wall because we didn't run the wires yet. Which, again, you guys know you've all run wires. And it all just has to be staged. So it's really, by the time you get the risers out and in place and dead center and everything else, I could go in there at 9 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday and have it ready for the ring to be set up on by the time you guys arrive at 4 or 5 on Wednesday. And just to get it to that point and have the 4 things close to where Will wants them. Now, I don't touch the gosh darn ring anymore, except I make my stage, my risers all perfectly straight for him and you guys to set that ring up. And once that's done and the ring is in, then I can run all the wires, which is always the Thursday morning. So Thursday I start running the wires, which never was the case. We used to do that on Friday with Mitch.
Right.
But I can't practice. I can't sit with Will and Benny and say, here's how we're going to do it. And I need complete darkness for this match. And things have also changed as we went along. You know, Captain Dave put space covers over the kitchen lights and in the hallway lights. That dramatically helps the production. A sign that says where the damn restrooms are, which was Will's idea because somebody said they couldn't find the restrooms during the show. I think it was Michelle that had me do it. But I put the restroom, the sign above that door, and it took all that out of it. Next show, the outlet that's by cameraman Mike is the biggest piece of crap I've ever seen in my life. You got to pull up.
That's Hollywood, just so you know.
Hollywood Mike.
Hollywood.
Okay? That outlet's a piece of crap. I have to tape the plug into it. So I'll be changing that. All these little things just keep happening. So much easier, like you guys had mentioned, with the carpeting on the windows. That is something that I have just washed my hands of completely, which allows me to do more arena stuff and focus on production.
Right.
You've seen the addition of the high beam spotlights, which is, those are 150 watt. The other smaller ones that I have that spin, those are 75. So Impact, when we all went, you saw me waddle my fat ass down by the arena.
Yeah, we did.
I remember. Yeah.
And I wound up getting a peek at how they were doing all this stuff. Then I realized that they have a machine that constantly creates fog without you knowing it. And that's how they add dimension to those lights, the beam look. So we all learned a lot at Impact as to how to go forward and make it look better. The final say, believe it or not, is once again production. I could say I want this, I want that, I think I'm going to do this, I think I'm going to do that. Production says, no, we're going to put in a heel and a face entrance, and I need you to move that shit so that you can't see somebody's big ass brushing against the curtains. And it just keeps going. We keep finding things like the back door, that door to that area where it's storage. If that door's open, it screws the fog up and blows it all towards them.
Then you can't even see commentary.
If you notice the last couple of shows, that wasn't happening anymore. The fog was staying light and low and it's creeping down the ramp, which is the effect that we were looking for. If that door is closed, it won't do that. If the air handlers on both sides on the roof are off in front and on in the back with the fan running all the time, it pulls that low-lying fog across towards the ring, which is what we were looking for.
Right.
So we learn something new every time.
We do.
I want new lights now. I mean, I want to go with NEMA UV black lights and have like one of those days where everybody wears something neon.
Glow day.
Glow day.
Ooh.
And again, production said, F you ain't doing shit like that this year. If you want to do something like that, you're doing it next year, which is fine. You know, I get the same thing from production all the time. If WWE don't have it, you don't have it.
Or he's more like, does WWE?
Because I was going to add a bubble machine for Rion. And I was told, does WWE have a bubble machine? I said, no. And he's like, then neither do you. Right?
There's a big fat nope. There he is. Wow, you are quick with the paintings.
Rion.
Oh, he's a
then
childhood hero of my cousin Tony Gabagool, so I got to paint this fine fellow.
Then it's always going to become, well, where's Rion's, we're waiting in the ring. When's Rion's music going to hit? And then he's over there dicking around with buttons. Wait, I can't turn this on. I have to find the remote for the bubble machine. And I'm waiting 20 minutes in the ring because he can't find the remote for the bubble machine. No. And then Jimmy's going to be like, I don't think I can hook that up to that. And you can't hook it up to the board. That's right. That's how that's what you're going to get from him. It's like, and then you're going to be like, well, I can't do the ring lights and this, and then turn the ring lights on and the fog machine and the bubbles. I just need to. And then you're like, okay, it's been 20 minutes. Undertaker would have been out here by now. Like,
well, like the laser light was like pissing in the wind at the last show compared to what it was like at the Halloween party. That thing worked great out there. But it's like, pissing in the wind at RPW. You can't even see that thing's there. The only one who can see it is me. So I may just cut that out. And I've made a few changes with laser lights and the regular lighting. Jimmy's got to come in again. I can tell you that I did like changing the color scheme for the show, like going red and purple for Cupid's Carnage. A lot of people complimented me on that and said that looked really cool. So this one might be green and purple. Ooh. Which would be kind of like the Joker.
Yeah.
And this way we're staying with the theme because the Shamrock Showdown is up there. The green and the purple would look pretty majestic, By the way, there is drinks. There is green drink specials.
Yes, there will be green drink specials. We talked to the girls and they've got a whole bunch. So make it rain.
Baba Ghoul, your cousin was asking about that during the LIM meeting.
He'll be pleasantly delighted, Stature. Thank you.
Him and Danny going at it in that beer drinking contest. They're gonna have to drink those green beers. You think he's gonna be ready?
Yeah,
Oh, I think he'll be fine and ready. Yes.
yeah, they're gonna have green beer for sure. At least that's what they said. And then a couple. Look at double J. Yeah.
You know that means you're gonna have green shit the next day, right?
I don't care. I live alone, so that's fine.
As do I. So we're all good.
Leprechaun shit.
I might find some gold too.
I think there's a rainbow that comes out of the toilet.
You're supposed to be at the same level as me.
Why? Or your prettiness?
Well, you're causing me to go in and out of focus. It has nothing to do with drugs and alcohol.
So now that we've talked about, a lot of these things that we've talked about, which is everything we've talked about, where do you guys see Rocket Pro Wrestling in the next 5 years?
You want that answer from me or from Will or from Schelli?
Everybody.
You want me to answer?
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if I can begin to say it because I don't know what's going on with the bishop and the diocese. So where I would like to see it and where it will be based on events that are currently happening are two different answers. Where would I like it to be? I would like it to be so successful that one, I don't have to do my regular day job anymore, and two, that we can blow out a few walls at the park and add that upper deck connected to the upper room that you wanted to do for VIP seating above the camera with $40 tables or $40 a seat. That's what I would, and bleacher seating on the actual bleachers like that schools have that will come out with the remote that on the hard cam side over by the RPW sign and the park doors and everything. And then I would also like to have an actual locker room so that Damian Gray's not changing in the little boys' locker room while Connor Hopkins is taking a piss right next to him. I would like to have actual locker rooms for our talent. I would really like a working bathroom upstairs so that I don't have to go downstairs to pee. Just a lot more space for more people, and I hope that we have the fans to fill that. Now, if we don't, my wish is that we end up at it's wishful thinking, but my wish would be that we end up at Our Lady of Peace, my old school that has since closed, and the church is still active, because they have a gigantic stage, they have bleachers in the gym, they have a full working kitchen that's probably double the size of the one at St. Joe's Park, and they have full locker rooms. Well, better than we've got. So there's my two separate answers of where I would like it to be. I would like it to be option A, but I'm fine with option B as well.
My answer is I would like to see it in 5 years somehow pay-per-view and have a fan base that actually would want to watch it, that is from around the Midwest and not just here.
In Germany.
We do have a big fan base in Germany, and I don't know why. I think it's got something to do with Chet. But, because his father was German. So,
there you go.
Obviously. So, that would be what I would think. Not Impact traveling type. Like, I want to stay.
I'm traveling shit.
Illinois. I want to be right here at home. I don't want to travel to do shows. Whatever the Lord kind of puts in our way. Right now, with what happened with WGN, with Steve, with the way Wrestle League has just completely done a 180 with their business, together we can conquer the world. Wrestle League, IPW, RPW, we're all kind of somehow intertwined by God. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. So, Shogun's the best trainer in the Midwest, and everything just kind of fell where it did. And I'm really looking forward to packing this park first to the point where I have to turn people away. Then we can look at that 5-year road.
Right.
I
would like you said, I think I would like to hopefully the safest thing that I'm thinking as CFO would be to own our own property and build it up so that
We
you know,
never have to take
we
down
don't
and set
have to
up.
take it down. We can maybe have our own training school. You know, we can, and actually would be great to employ people and say, oh, good, here's your job. You know, I just don't want to be eating cat food when I'm 80. So I don't need to make millions. And, you know, I want to fix my roof, small things. But I want to make it because the people seem to love it. And I want to keep it for the people. You know, it seems to make people, like I think I heard, I don't remember which Charmed one it was, might have been Piper, that said in an interview, you know, we want to make it an escape from whatever it is that you're going through. A few hours, for them it was once a week, for us it's once a month. You know, get out there and enjoy and laugh and bring your kids. And I would just like to see that continue to grow within the next 5 years without the threat of not having, without, you know, losing the property, I guess. You know, just keep it going. The fans get, you know, give them something to do. Get out there.
You have to remember too that all these little kids, these memories are burned in their heads, and they will always remember Maximus Orion. They will always remember Shogun and Marche and Rion and us and Chet and everybody else that comes in there, LIM, all of it. They'll remember that forever, and they will be big fans. Then they'll be the 21-year-olds drinking, and I'll be with a walker at that time saying, now it's time to break up this meeting of the campfire girl. And then I'm going to eat prunes.
They got to be stewed.
So, and again, that's kind of what we're looking at right now. And this is a saying that I always cherish. Don't look too much at the future and miss your present. And right now, all of us are having an absolute blast together as a family. You guys are our family.
Absolutely.
Rocket Pro Wrestling is a family. We gotten to the point where the anger and the pissed offness and the kicking the cat is gone. Okay. A lot of that starts with me, because when I'm burned out, when I'm burned out, I get pissy too. And again, we kind of gelled and we did this corporation. This is your lane. This is your lane. You stay over here. You're in charge of only this. Make sure this is done by this time because we're coming to do this. As you noticed, I've been going home at 4 or 5 o'clock thanks to the rest of this crew. And I only work 6 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon because you guys all got everything else.
Because we are second shift.
Michelle comes in second shift. PX second shift. Double J even comes in and does his thing on Saturday. That's, to me, second shift. I've been there all day. Well, Josh, you know you're with me from day one. So are you even coming?
Unfortunately, Smiley McGee will not be in here in March or April. I'm trying to get kind of...
Well,
I'm shooting
you know
for May,
what?
yes.
Getting the roller coasters ready for opening day is a huge endeavor, and we're all very understanding of that, and we're all big Indiana Beach fans.
Your civic duty to the dunes is just irreplaceable, Smiley.
I hear they got a movie about you coming out.
Babagul, can you paint a picture of Indiana Beach real quick too?
Oh, just give me a second there. We'll see what the old brush can do. Give me a second.
Well, Babagul is getting that ready.
So no Smiley McGee, which means I'm on my own until these guys get here.
He's trying to move along.
I'm trying to find a secondary intern. We're working on it.
Grab the dude off the bumper cars. Make him do it.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll
or the arcade guy, the guy that collects the quarter. It's not quarters anymore. I'm dating myself.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, we still do quarters.
Yeah, well, Indiana Beach, kind of proving once again there is more than corn in Indiana.
Now, Smiley, I know you have one last question as Babagul is preparing the Indiana Beach picture.
Oh, just getting busy with the brush. How you doing? Look at those roller coasters. They're beautiful.
Finest in Indiana.
The finest.
Anyway, I believe PX you were asking if I had a question. Correct?
Yes. That I
will Bill Schelli be at Shamrock Showdown? I know that Smiley McGee won't be, but
You know,
Best
I
production.
may go to that.
Oh, it's a possibility.
And mostly
guys.
because of the plug on WGN. That I know that a lot of times Chet pushes me off the controls, okay, because he thinks he can do the lights better than me. I don't think that that's the case, but it would really be up to Chet because Chet's coming back. He buried his dog Ignishka in the Czech Republic.
That's not funny. His dog died.
No, her
You
reaction.
Well, and again, cut the guy some slack because they also sold his Busha's cabin, and he was in tears when I talked to him. But he is leaving, and from what I understand, he comes back to Berwyn on Monday.
So I got to be at O'Hare on Monday.
And again, it's all really up to him. If he takes over the controls on the lighting, then I would be out in the crowd. I won't be as visible.
So you're saying you may be there?
I may go to that. And I mean, that's until I am official LIM, that's the only answer you're ever getting from. No, I'm not.
That's going to be in May.
Okay.
I asked. And I mean, you saw my thing. I've actually been asked to be on the Lovely Intoxicated podcast, which I was just taken back that I was even asked. I mean, why would you put the guy who makes it all happen on there? That'd be kind of stupid, is the way I look.
Right? Yeah. No, I get.
So,
yeah.
actually, part of a production question, I guess, is what this would be. So you guys remember how we've had Power Hour at the last Kicks on 66, right? Obviously, there's no podcast for Fall Brawl because that's the Novas, so that takes precedence. This time, if possible, I would like to have a live, Lovely Intoxicated podcast at Fan Access this time, just because I would say you are pretty much exclusively.
You got to be shitting me with this right now. I'm about to take off my hairpiece because I got a lot.
Whoa, Gabagool, when'd you get here?
Hey, I've been, I just got in. Where's my hat? In the presence of a young lady like this, I got to be wearing a hat. She can't be seeing her reflection in my bald head. We would be honored, sir, and welcome to the Lovely Intoxicated Men.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yes, but I would really love you guys because I got to run around and do stuff. But if you guys entertain the wrestlers and the fans outside, you let me know who you need to be on as a guest, and we'll have all that ready. But I would like, because you guys are exclusively Rocket Pro. I mean, you talk about other shit, but you don't. It's Rocket Pro. So why not have RPW's #1 fan podcast up there? I'm not doing anything with the freaking idolizers. Fuck them. So
they're losers.
So we're just going to. That's what I would want to do. So if you guys want to do it, you just get that ugly crap off the screen.
Really?
My eyes.
You got a little crap on your background. You might want to
turn it off.
That off.
Hold on.
We've
got
PX. You've seen at the Halloween party that we have that new sound system. So we'll put that out there. You guys can have the microphone.
He's a belt collector, okay?
When he starts eating his chicken and greens again, he'll get those abs back.
That's how I got this belt, baby.
We gave it to you.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We might
I also did those things.
Rumor has it I'll be bringing a new model of the coat rack to the May show. So
So if that's something you guys are okay with doing, then let me know and we will.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? It'll make it a lot nicer having our own reliable sound system. That's a good point.
Yeah,
right, we've got that.
Right
we've
now.
got.
So
we
you
got
guys
the
will
microphones,
take.
we're good.
You guys will take that stage then.
Absolutely.
The St. Joe's Park stage.
Yep.
All right.
I think all it
way
was
I have it in my head that I have to have that ready for you too.
Yep.
Which is basically
a
Saturday thing
Right.
for me.
Yeah, it has to be the day of. Yeah.
Well, we've
even
been doing so great with all you guys helping out that Saturday we're done with the arena by 10 a.m.
Which is good because there's always something that comes up.
Right.
Always.
And this one, I'm going in on Wednesday because the WGN thing has me nervous. You know, meaning that we're going to have that many people there.
And we got a cotton candy machine.
And we got
An
an
actual
commercial.
cotton candy machine.
It's huge. It came the day of the last show.
Yeah.
There it is. Cosmic candy. Wow, those bags look really offensive.
So we're also bringing back corn dogs for this show.
Ooh.
Oh, what?
Yep.
Corn dogs.
The corn dogs are coming back.
Cotton candy.
Smiling McGee's Indiana Beach corn dogs will be
Yeah.
Yes.
Fresh from the beach.
You know what I did see? Not, I mean, this is really off topic now because I know PX wants to move on, but I saw on Facebook somebody put, you know, those boats we've got? You put the corn dog in there and you slit it, and then you put chili and cheese on that.
Ooh.
All right. Well,
And you know what?
Dave, one other thing to do. The
That'll give like a shit streak, like on the floor, like with the dust mop.
So gross.
Well, this
There.
I pissed my pants and forgot who I was for an hour.
Blackburn. So we have Shamrock Showdown on March 3rd. Correct?
Second.
Leap year's throwing me off.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Not the only one.
March 2nd. It will be at St. Joe's Park in Joliet, Illinois. Doors open at 4. Bell time is at 5. General admission $15. Front row $20. And to close out the show, we're going to talk about some of the matches and start previewing them and start thinking about what people can expect as they prepare for Shamrock Showdown.
Do we have a Keurig endorsement now?
Not to sound like Santino, but what do you? Oh,
look
okay. I was about to say, what do you mean?
What are you talking about? I haven't announced the sponsor of this episode.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
you heard it here first. If you're ever hanging out with Mike Madonna, he needs his coffee. So look no further than the Keurig. If you can see it.
We can't see it. Steve Michaels is too intimidating. The Keurig is scared.
I don't know how you saw that, Maximus.
It was just sitting right in the corner.
Supernatural. There's supposed to be a background going. I don't know what's going on.
All right, Maximus, what are we expecting?
What are you asking me?
Because PX said, I don't know anything about.
We have the first match, the tag team match between Connor Hopkins and Damian DeShane versus Brooks Berna and Old Evil Christian Rose. Now, guys, TDC seems to be falling apart as the scene more and more each and every show. It was originally Rose versus everybody when Rose seemed to have lost his mind in that match with Bucky Collins last year. And now Berna seemed to align himself with Christian Rose. And it's now him versus Connor and DeShane. So we've seen this meaner side of Christian Rose. We've seen the side of Brooks Burton. Wrong pay-per-view. Wrong.
Well, you know, I'm waiting on them to post the match card, okay?
I see.
Hold on. I've got you. Just talk about the match. I got it.
So,
okay,
guys, so
look at Mr. Singh.
TDC Civil War. Who's going to come out on top in this?
Probably Ulysses S. Grant.
Wrong Civil War. So in the Civil War between Connor Hopkins and DeShane versus Rose and Berna.
You know, I think the team that's going to come out on top is the one that beats up the other ones and then pins them for 3 seconds. I think that's who's going to come out on. Hey, I've got 2 degrees, so I am a smart and I have an ass. All right, so you're correct.
Better than being a dumbass.
That's true. Speaking of dumbass, Smiley McGee, what do you think?
Oh, treated.
Love you, buddy.
You know,
love you too, buddy. But anyway, I haven't really given much thought to this. I've been kind of busy all day. But anyway,
Papa Google.
I kind of feel like there's going to be some sort of shenanigans that we don't really get a closure to this match.
Yeah.
So that's where that's what I'm going to go with, is some sort of Bucky Collins shenanigans is what I'm going to go with.
Match interference.
Yeah.
Maximus? how do you see this playing out?
I'm leaning towards what Coat Rack just said, mainly because Connor and Deschain think that Christian Rose is just off his nut. Like which he is. Okay. I will give that to them. He is absolutely knuckin' futz. Okay. Like this guy is we had that feud with Bucky. And then after that, he just snapped. So they're correct in the fact that he is just nuts, but I don't know why Berna's taking Rose's side. I know he doesn't agree with Rose and the way Rose is acting, but he's going against the other two because Berna knows, which I know, which I believe 100%, that the only reason that Christian Rose is crazy like Johnny Depp and Charlie in the Chocolate Factory now is because of Bucky Collins. Bucky Collins was bugging Christian Rose for how many months? 6? Interfering in his matches, making him doubt himself. That's why Christian Rose went crazy. And when he needed them, and even though he pushed them away, they're supposed to be this family, this pack, right? They should have just been continuously going back and trying to help him through it. But they got their, panties in a bunch, so to speak, and they went that way. And just it all comes down to ego at this point because Rose thinks I don't know what he thinks, so I can't speak for him. There's 2 that think that they're 100% right, and then there's the one that doesn't really know. He just knows why it's happening. And until Deschain and Hopkins understand why Christian Rose went nuts, this is never going to fix itself. Because if the only one who has sympathy and understands Christian Rose is Berna, that's still half of the Coyotes. And it's not helping Rose get any better mentally either. So, to be honest with you, I see this match not even really ending in a pinfall or submission. I see it breaking out and ending in a no contest or a count out or a disqualification on somebody's part. And it's going to go for like 5-6 minutes before all hell breaks loose anyway, because nobody knows who's right.
Schellis, Bill, Schelli,
Mm-hmm.
what do you guys think? Where do you weigh in on this whole TDC Civil War?
I talked to Connor and Deschain more, and the other guys elude me, especially Berna. I mean, Christian Rose, when I see him once in a while in Chet's office, it's, hey, how are you? Thanks for coming. Goodbye. The other guys I talk to a little more, and they have a fire in their belly, so I'm going with Connor and Deschain.
Schelli, your thoughts?
I was really shocked to see, the whole breakup from the beginning because, he's supposed to be, the dad, the leader, the trainer, and then he just flips out on his guys. And then I just think they're all confused as to what's going on. I don't know why Berna went on the other side. He should have backed the other 2. But I like I said, I'm expecting shenanigans and goings on, just like Josh said. I don't know. I don't see it ending well because they're supposed to be a group. They're supposed to be a family, and it's like a showdown. Shamrock.
Now, Schelli, this actually brings me to what's expected to come next on the show is the Ringmasters Funhouse. Now, as far as I am aware, this is something that a lot of people didn't know about. So what do you know about what exactly the Ringmaster has planned for you and Main Event Steve?
I don't. I'm a little scared. I haven't really had a chance to talk about it with Steve much. I really don't know. I really don't know what to expect, but I'll be prepared. I'll be ready. I really don't. It was news to me when I heard that this was going to happen and that then I'm on the show, me and Steve. So I really don't know what to expect. I mean, you've seen the man. He's like a loose cannon. So, I mean, look at that face right there. It looks like something off Lost Boys without my glasses.
The cool thing about this match is that's what the fans want.
Well, it's a talk.
And they I mean, okay, a segment, excuse me. This segment is what the fans want. And as you noticed, we've been doing a little more of that, a little more taking our time getting in the ring because the fans want more out of the ring action as well as in the ring action. So I think this segment is going to bring that home, and it's a perfect timing for it. And the ringmaster brings people out. So once again, I got to be on my game with the arena for this one.
Maximus, thoughts?
He scares me a little bit. Mainly because when they came back, the first words he said to me as he's walking around the ring during their entrance is he rubbed my belly and said, "Yup, you're pregnant," and then kept walking. So, I really don't know. And I'm going to stay unless they need my help against, like, I don't know, Undeniable or something. I am going to stay as far away from them as possible. Just because I don't need something to snap and them to kick my ass. So, what's going to go on with this is all I know is that you guys better watch your backs, and not because of Ringmaster, because I have a feeling he is anti-Idol. He's anti-Undeniable. He's anti-Damian Saint. So, I mean, he's pro 3 rings. He's not really pro anybody else, but as long as he's anti all of our enemies, we're okay. You need to watch out for Sleazebag and his dog that might attack you from behind, because I'm not always out there. So wrong Sleazebag.
Wrong Sleazebag, yeah.
Yeah, the other one that made us want to vomit. The other picture. No, not that one. Wrong Sleazebag.
It's not Damian Saint.
No, we're not going to say their names.
The Fabulous Idolizers cult leaders.
There you go.
So I would say just watch out for them, because Marche's not there, and Shogun and Sinister have something else. They got a tag team title match to worry about, and I don't even know where I'm going to be at that point when that happens. I might be getting ready for my match, or I might be preparing Ryan's opponent for his match. So just be careful, because I don't know what these two are up to, and they've always got Gray and Cade in their back pockets.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'll be ready.
Now, following this, we have Joseph Von Jaeger and a mystery partner going up against Youth Gone Wild, Matt Creed and Tom Heisman. Now, Tom and Matt have been making their presence felt. Tom, especially last month, kicking Schelli off of commentary at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And, my first assignment as backstage interview was Rocket Pro Wrestling was trying to talk with Joseph about what's going on with Jesus Desafio. And in that moment, during that interview, he was attacked. And Damian Saint made a match about a week or so back, saying that there's somebody on the Rocket Pro Wrestling active roster who is willing to help fight alongside Von Jaeger against Youth Gone Wild. Any thoughts on who this mystery partner could be? Is Joseph Von Jaeger ready for Youth Gone Wild, who are very loose cannons and are doing everything they can to make their presence felt in Rocket Pro?
I'm a Jägermeister, so I'm all Joseph Von Jaeger.
I'm a little worried for him, because did you see the nut job with the baseball bat at the last show? Ooh. Okay, so I'm a little worried for him, and only God knows what Saint is going to pull out of his dusty, musty
right. And what's
pocket.
what's with Blackburn inviting him to the commentary table?
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, this is all up in the air. And again, that's what's going to make it a great show, because none of us know what's going to happen. Bless you. Her chair back when she did that. But again, that's going to make it pretty eventful.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Flippin' Heisman. Yeah.
And Creed wasn't there, just Tom.
Right.
Baba Ghoul, what do you think about this match?
I think we got to be on the lookout for my
that's
childhood.
Gabagool.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, yeah, now he's Gabagool. Now he's
Together with the
Gabagool.
program.
Yes.
His cousin left.
Yeah, that's right. His cousin left.
He had to go get some cannolis and stuff for today. Some
It's one of them paint and sip type of deals. And you know what they're sipping, guys? Old style.
Yeah.
But in all honesty,
There's the logo.
JVJ, he's got to find a solid partner to back him up in this match. Otherwise, Youth Gone Wild, they're going to run rampant in the ring. Okay.
Yeah.
Double J, Smiley, your thoughts before we get into this next section of the show?
Yeah, I know Von Jaeger's a newcomer to Rocket Pro, so hopefully he's been able to make some friends. We obviously know you can't because you're retired, so you can't help him out if you were able to lace the boots up one more time. I'm sure you'd step in there and help him out. Mostly because you can't reach the boots anymore.
Yeah.
Been out of commission for a while. I thought it was the beer belly.
Oh yeah, that too.
Back. Oh yes, there he is, back in his prime. But I think Von Jaeger has done some good work to prove himself, especially as a champion. So I'm curious to see who he picks to tamper the Youth Gone Wild and send Matt Creed back on the Creed Revival Tour where he belongs.
Now, Smiley.
Well, I just want to say I'm not going to say anything long. It was never said that Von Jaeger gets to choose.
No, it was somebody
tag team partner. It's Saints choosing.
Yeah.
It's Saint's choice. So I know that Saint is not a fan of Youth Gone Wild and holding up his show and costing him money. But what, you're going to put Von Jaeger in here and you're not going to let him choose his own tag team partner now? Are you trying to just give them food so that they crawl back into hibernation for a little bit? I don't understand what you're doing. Because unless they get their hands on the final level, they're not going to be satisfied.
Good point.
That's what they want.
Now, next we have the 6-man tag with the Hawaiian Hitman, Koa Laxamana, Shaq.
Hey,
Jordan.
hold on.
Yes.
The coat rack would like to speak
wait,
on
I'm
this
going to
match
have him
first.
speak on this next match. I'm going to have him start
see? You should just wait, inanimate object.
Wait
Shut
your
up.
turn, Smiley. We have...
I just figured you wanted my insight on the last match. Okay.
All right,
never mind.
1945, pipe down.
We have Koa, we have Shaq, and we have Gunner Brave versus the undeniable Eric Schultz, Devin August, and Skylar Reed. Now, as we all saw last month,
I don't have that flyer.
Schellis was victimized by the undeniable to make sure that Steve Michaels became the #1 contender to Aaron Stone's RPW championship. Gunner tried to cash in on Aaron Stone last month, but that attempt was foiled by the undeniable. And Shaq has been coming to the aid of anybody that's been attacked by the undeniable this whole season. Now, this match was made by Turtle at the end of the last show, and you got 3 people who are incredibly ticked off that the undeniable keep costing them opportunities. And you have Damian Saint, who is getting upset with Shaq Jordan seemingly getting involved with everything going on. So, Smiley, I'm going to start with you here. How do you see this match playing out? I mean, you saw that attack on Schellis. You see what the undeniable are capable of and how far they're willing to go to get what they want.
I was
you into a coat rack.
I was there last month. I did see that attack on Kaylee's, and I hope we haven't heard an update on her condition, but I really hope that the team of Koa, Shaq Jordan, and Gunner Brave can take down the undeniable of Eric Schultz and the Kings of Six. The wild card in that, if we haven't been paying attention, is the hesitation on Skylar Reed's part. It seems at times he doesn't want to take part, but then eventually does. So that's kind of an X factor. And that's my take. And unfortunately, I do have to cut out after this particular part of this. So with that, I'll let someone else talk, and I will head on out because I got to get to the airport.
Smiley's got to fly to Indiana.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
I do.
All right. I will see you guys.
Hi, Josh.
Later.
Thanks for all you do, buddy.
Thank
See you in
you.
May.
Hey,
I will see you guys in May.
I miss
right.
you.
Miss you
I
guys.
I miss you,
Miss you too.
Smiley.
Breakfast, 8:00.
All right.
Double J is Smiley's figuring out how technology works. What do you think of this match?
I think this is going to be a very emotional match, and I'm curious to just because of Koa of what happened to Khalees. Is he going to be too focused on just the aggression towards the undeniable and not really be aware of the inevitable shenanigans that they're going to pull in this? And he's going to be so worried about just like punching in the stupid face of Devin August in particular. If that's just going to be too much of like a focal point for him and something's going to go awry, and I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen here, but I'm hopeful that Koa and team can pull out of it, but I'm worried that he's going to be too focused on revenge rather than like the entirety of the match itself.
Well, it might go awry, but let's hope for everybody else it goes Fakasha. That Maximus, that dad joke was for you.
All right, you need to take 5 minutes after that one. I'm
Yeah,
going to take
you know
over.
what? I'm going on timeout.
Yeah, go on timeout. I'm curious, Maximus, what are your thoughts on this after especially dealing with the undeniable for so long over these past few months?
The one thing they're gonna have to, I mean, they've got Kaylee's at ringside, so they should be fine. But now you got to watch out for J-Beck, because when they had the referee distracted, J-Beck threw his cane to Devin, and then I turn around and I get hit right between the eyes with J-Beck's stupid geriatric cane, and which he doesn't need because Gimpy was up on the ropes anyway, like without the cane, so I didn't know how that works.
This guy's been nursing a neck injury longer than Vicky Guerrero. Okay,
I know, and all I did was shove his shoulder a little bit when he got in my way during my entrance. Everybody knows you don't get in the way of me during my entrance. Okay, that's like a common thing, right? So the other thing is that Skylar not only was very hesitant to hit that finish on me after the cane attack, he was not out there during the attack on Koa and Kaylee's at all. It was Devin and Steve Michaels and Saint. That was it. There was no, I mean, I don't even think Beck was down there for that one, and Schultz wasn't there, and Ryan was, I don't know, looking for the tightest underwear possible backstage. So
treat it.
You're on timeout. Be quiet.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Stop it. Mute yourself. Thank you.
So
I'm sorry for the interruption.
That's okay. That is that's the real factor, is the dude in the back with the Terminator sunglasses and the Girl Scout cookies. And whether or not I know Gunner and Shaq can work together. I worked with Shaq and we were fine until Ryan came down and threw him into the steps. So, but don't worry about that. Ryan will be busy, and Steve Michaels is going to be focused on his championship match, so they're not going to be out there at all. But they have to worry about Skylar just getting off the apron and walking out. If they have to be worried about anything, it's not Shaq, it's not Koa, it's not Gunner, it's not Kaylee's. It's if Skylar's just going to leave them in a 2-on-3 handicap match during the middle of it.
Yeah.
Because if they do, they're done. It's over. Either that or if J-Beck spills his cookies, it's done.
I'm going to say, man, worry about Kaylee's. That's all I'm going to say. I would worry about her because she has been known not to go quietly in the night, and she ain't going to sit back and let that happen. She's tough, and I'd be more nervous about her than anybody else if I was in their position.
you know,
she's loose cannon.
Devin's smaller
She's
than
a
her
loose
too.
cannon in this match. And that's all I'm going to say from my vantage point on my side. I'd be afraid of her. I wouldn't go anywhere near her if I did any of that to her or had any hand in it in any way.
You were going to say something,
well,
Gabagool?
here's what I was going to say. You know, every month I go on Windy City Slam and I recap the latest Rocket Pro Wrestling show. You can check that out. Mike Pankow is one of our dear friends. But earlier in the month when I was speaking with Mr. Pankow, I said, the hit that they did on Khalees was the dirtiest hit that I've ever seen since the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yep.
Now I'm looking to maybe see Dark Koa appear. We'll see. This guy, he's out for vengeance. You don't mess with his old lady, okay?
That's very true.
Oh.
Very well put.
I think Elisa's our age.
Why are you
Go back
talking?
on timeout.
You're on mute.
Okay.
She
Yeah.
is.
Thank you, Schelli.
I'm put on timeout on my own show.
Stop talking. We have more things to talk about.
Why?
Beck, I want to focus now on something to this next series of matches where you had mentioned that Ryan Matthews is going to be busy because we have the Pick Your Poison match up next, where I believe it is you are picking an opponent for Ryan Matthews, and he is also picking an opponent for you in the match following. So since you have a lot of just knowledge and tension around this, kind of walk us through this next segment here.
Ooh, I mean, there has not been a Pick Your Poison on any pro wrestling programming at all in a long time. The last time WWE did it was 2011 or something like that. So I had to go with this one. I pitched the idea to Turtle and he liked it. And of course, you have to involve, as management, you have to involve both GMs. So he said, it has to be whatever, and Beck's got to be at ringside, so I can't throw him out this time, unfortunately. But Ryan's really not going to be expecting his opponent. I can tell you that much. There's not a single person in that arena. I think there's one person who shall remain nameless that's got a messed up eye and is on timeout right now that I I don't know. I think it's Gabagool, but
my eyes are just fine. How you doing?
that knows a little bit of who it could possibly be. Now, am I worried about my opponent in my match? No, I'm not worried. Pick Your Poison means something from your past. Flash is out with a knee injury now. So it's not going to be him. Plus, he has converted over into brother LIM. So it's not going to be him. It's not going to be Rion because Rion's been sent away and is no longer on the active roster by Damian Saint. So it's not going to be him. There's really nobody else that could show up unless he has $100,000 to rent the actual Undertaker for the night. There's nobody that's going to be there that I'm going to be worried about that Ryan can pick. I mean, every other undeniable guy's in a match. Skyler's in a match. Devin's in a match. The Underfaker's in a match. Steve's in a match. And Ryan can't be my opponent. And there's nobody else that I could think of that I would be worried about that would be a poison from my past to me right now.
Well, what about Sir Jimmy Kimmel? What are you going to do about that?
Yeah, he may show up and just run rampant.
If Stone was picking you're on timeout. If Stone was picking my Pick Your Poison, I'd be worried that Jimmy Kimmel or his Aunt Chippy would show up and be my opponent. But it's Ryan, and he's not going to think that far ahead. So, I mean, there's really not much. I'm just not worried. I'm not. If there's no reason to be.
Can you offer Can you offer any teaser or hint as to who you may be picking for Ryan Matthews? Or
I don't think that there really is without giving it away.
No.
Okay. All right.
Don't.
No, I can't. No, you're right. I can't. No, there's nothing that I can give you other than nobody's going to see it coming.
Well, look at that. My Venmo just went off.
Huh.
Bride money. Who's getting married? There's a bride money. There's bride money in here, Double J. PX is in the... Oh, baby LaGreca, it's okay. It's okay.
Bribe money. This is why I have Cash App. I guess I don't get bribe money.
Wait, does that mean I could come back in from timeout?
I guess.
But wouldn't it be Gabagool that would make that decision because I bribed him?
Well, he's gone, and I'm number 2, so you can come back now.
Wait, you're 3 technically.
All right, I'm taller than you, but you can come back.
Well, thanks, buddy.
I think Arthur's sister DW is taller than PX.
That doesn't work on me. I can't read.
Baby LaGreca's taller than him.
All right. Anyway, speaking of people who are taller than me, there's 4 men who are taller than me in this next match.
When Baby LaGreca sees the hairless cat, all he can do is cry. Just
hairless cat. Hairless
Hairless
cat.
Kit. Hairless Kit.
That one was mine.
We have for the RPW Tag Team Championship, Warhorse, Crosshair Kelly, and Pat the Bruiser versus Shogun Chris Logan and Sinister with Ringmaster.
That's going to be great.
Now, this is not the first time 3 rings have subbed in for the final level. Machine subbed in for Shogun at Resolution. And also, this isn't Warhorse's first time as a tag team at RPW, because back in Resolution 2022, they wrestled No Coast for the tag titles, and they also wrestled Brooks Berna and Connor Hopkins at Kicks on 66 in 2022. So these are 2 guys that whose matches that I have watched. These are big dudes, really big dudes, a powerful team, but they're going up against power in the form of Shogun and Machine. So
Sinister.
Sinister. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But get it together, Pat.
I was in timeout.
We're professionals here.
Now, Double J, you're a professional here. What do you think of this match?
I am very excited for this match because I have not seen Warhorse in action before. So I'm very excited to see them come in and face off against Shogun and Sinister, who I've seen, wrestle before. And I think it's going to be a very interesting dynamic. And I'm just curious how Shogun and Sinister are going to work together, given I don't believe they have tagged in anywhere in Rocket Pro, or maybe in the Chicagoland area in general. So I'm just curious to see what that dynamic is going to be like. But I think they will be able to pull off the victory, just given the years of experience that they both have and bring to the table alone, is going to be able to retain the titles.
I think so.
Tony Gabagool.
Here's the thing. We're talking about Sinister. All right. Look at this man's face. Can you see that face?
I can't.
Yes.
So handsome.
If that guy comes to pick up your daughter for the prom, you're gonna say, "No way, Jose." All right.
Actually,
My
it'd be
money-
Like,
Well, his
never
name is
home by
Sinister.
10. I'm not confronting you.
Thank you. So I think my money, all due disrespect to the Warhorses, I gotta say, the final level with the substitute of Sinister, that's where my money's going.
Yeah.
Maximus, your thoughts on this?
Oh, 100%. Warhorse is going to get absolutely obliterated. Oh, my God. That would be like 2 of you versus like me and somebody else on Fortnite. It's just like, oh, that could be. No, it's over. It's done.
Well,
They don't even know how to load into creative, bro. Like, it's done.
I could when I do have a pinfall victory over Damian Gray to my credit.
You got to start getting that fork knife over there on the GameCube, and then I can join.
All right,
right.
we'll get it. Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, we'll get it on the
GameCube.
GameCube.
I'm too busy
Talk to your
playing a
people.
man's game like League of Legends. All right. That takes a lot of skill.
A man's game.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they
Yeah.
changed the definition of a man to a basement dweller.
Treated.
At least I'm not a 12-year-old on Fortnite.
You're right. I'm 26.
That's fair. But I don't live in the basement. I'm on the 3rd floor of my building, okay? It doesn't even have an elevator. I get to walk up the stairs.
Oh, darn.
Man.
Exercise for somebody that plays League of Legends. That's shocking.
That's fair.
Nothing?
No, I mean, you can't argue with facts there, all right? I mean, just look at me.
Rob Conway. Gabagool got that reference, I think.
Yeah, he was the only one, too.
Good.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Let's look at me.
Anyway, a change in topic.
Yes, the main event of this fine Shamrock Showdown show is the Master of
The
the Chicago.
Shamrock Shakedown.
There it is. Shamrock
Take it
Showdown.
down for their Shamrock Shakes. Okay, how you doing?
Gotta
The
get,
mess-
how you doing?
I'm doing
Shamrock
good. How you
Shake?
doing?
How you doing?
Welcome to Rainer Avenue. Show me your ticket, please.
We have this main event: Aaron Stone versus the Master of the Chicago Bear Hug, with Damian Saint in his corner. Now, we talked a little bit about this with the 6-man tag. How far is Damian Saint willing to go for the undeniable? How far are the undeniable willing to go for him? Because as we've been all following everything that's been going on, Aaron Stone wins the Rocket to the Top briefcase last season. Damian Saint put a target on his head the entire time, did everything that he could to prevent Aaron Stone from cashing in the Rocket to the Top briefcase. Even putting Stone up against D. Ryan Matthews to win the vacated Rocket Pro Wrestling Championship. And ever since, he's been just putting obstacle after obstacle after obstacle is in his way, trying to beat him down. And now you have Steve Michaels, who was put in this match because the Undeniable were willing to go to such an extreme to get Koa Laxamana to quit. How far is the Undeniable going to go to try to get Steve Michaels a Rocket Pro Wrestling Championship? Double J?
I'm very curious to see how this will go, because I mean, if Damian Saint gets involved, does they disqualify the match? Does he overturn it and restart it and then just beat down Stone? What happens if somebody comes to Stone's aid? Does then Damian just issue the match to be done and then he wins and Michaels just gets the title? Like, I don't know what his powers as general manager allows him to do in this scenario. And I'm just very... we've seen Aaron Stone overcome a lot in his title reign and take on a lot of very fierce competitors, but I don't think he's been ever at this much of a disadvantage at in this point in his championship reign, that I have hope that he can pull it out. But just even if Damian Saint doesn't get involved, Steve Michaels has been on a tear, and that's just a lot of man to try to overcome.
Yes.
And I'm very I don't know how this is going to turn out. It's something that I don't feel like I can even confidently give a prediction for. I want Stone to keep up the championship reign, but I'll be very curious to see how he's able to do it.
Tony Gabagool.
I got to say that I'm genuinely worried for the young man and Aaron Stone. He has not faced this kind of adversity since he won that championship, right? But there's an X factor in all of this. And you know what that X factor is? That even if he gets through this big bear-hugging guy, Steve Michaels, right? And he's got his right-hand man with him, Damian Saint. Even if he can overcome the odds and beat him, we still got Gunnar Brave with the Rocket to the Top briefcase. Okay? We saw what his intentions were last month, so I don't know. I'm a bit worried for Aaron Stone coming out of Shamrock Showdown.
Maximus, this is your friend who is the RPW champion. The point of my question is, what's your mindset going into his match, watching him having to go up against these major odds?
You know, I know the Undeniable is going to play affect her.
Look up.
It's the rainbow, like the birthday thing that does it for me every time. But so what for me? Correct me if I'm wrong. Steve Michaels has not lost a match via pinfall or submission since he got to RPW. Or at least he has been on a team, and he has not been the one that has gotten pinned.
That's correct.
So there's the problem. Stone's beat lots of tough guys before. Dillinger, but Dillinger's been pinned. Dillinger's never won a match in Rocket Pro. Okay. Me, I lose all the time. Okay. He beat me. Great. You know, who was Quinn? Quinn's lost matches here. Rose has lost matches here. Marche has lost matches here. Shogun has lost matches here. Steve Michaels has not lost matches here. And I also, the whole thing with Gunnar and the cash-in, I don't think he's that. Now, in a match where there's weapons, he's dumb. But when it comes to trying to cash in and want to win this title, he's not stupid. He knows that if Undeniable is out there, he has no shot at cashing that in successfully. He's not gonna come out there. He will not be out there unless Stone retains and Steve Michaels is on the floor crying that he lost and there is no sign of Undeniable. Then Gunnar might walk out there and cash in on Stone. But if the Undeniable is out there, he's not dumb enough to run out there and waste a cash in on that. No way. No way. So I would like it to be like Gabagool and Double J said. I would love for Aaron Stone to retain this, but the odds are stacked against him. Yes, I'm there. Shaq's there. Gunner's there. Anybody that's been running out to save people. That's not that many of us, though. And if Skylar decides to have a change of heart and realize, okay, I do want to be with the Undeniable, you got them all there. Steve's there. Saint's there. The Underfaker is there. Both Kings of Six and Ryan. That's a little too much for even us four to handle, especially after Stone goes through a war. And I would have just been in a match, and so would have Gunner and Shaq.
Right.
So, and we don't know where Coa's head's at anyway. So we don't know if he would run out there as well and help. We just don't know. I'm gonna say Aaron Stone just because I've seen that dude kick out of so much. But I've been in the bear hug before, and it wasn't for long. But I can tell you, once you're locked in there, it's over for you. It's done. I've only seen one person break out of it, and that's Marche. But Stone's my best friend at Rocket Pro, but he's not Marche. You can't. He's not 275, 6'5". He's not. So he's got to watch out for that. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and just say that Stone is gonna retain the title.
Bill, Schelli, your guys' thoughts as we wrap up this?
I always err on the side of momentum, and Steve has momentum, so I'm gonna go with that. And seeing what he did at the last show, don't get me wrong, I love Stone. I just think that dude's just too big. He ain't be able to beat him. That's my thought personally.
Yeah, I'm worried for Aaron. I really am. Steve is angry, and then he's got that yippee yip 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 in his ear, which only agitates you more when you're already upset. So it's kind of like smacking, a beehive with a stick, or a bear in the ass with a stick, whatever you want to say. But he's angry, he's upset, and he's got Saint just back here like an ice pick in his ear. And, that. Who wants to see that all the time? Whatever he's saying, you got to beat him. I don't know. So I'm worried. I'm worried for not only that he's going to lose, but he's going to get beat down big time. I'm worried for him.
All right. So that is the preview for the card for Shamrock Showdown Rocket Pro Wrestling's March show, which will take place on March 2nd at St. Joe's Park in Joliet, Illinois. Doors open at 4. Bell time is at 5. General admission is $15, and the front row is $20. Guys, any parting thoughts before we close the tab on this episode?
We love you, Schellis. All three of you. You are some of the greatest people I've ever met. Thank you so much for bringing wrestling back to Joliet. We missed it. We needed it. And we never knew that we could get such a great company like Rocket Pro Wrestling. And we love you guys. So thank you.
Yeah, we love you guys too.
Thank
you.
Yep, absolutely. You guys are great.
You guys are awesome.
And I will say, and this is something like, I wasn't sure if I was going to say it tonight. But I think I kind of want to. So around the time I went to my first Rocket Pro show, I was out of work. I was dealing with some mental health issues. And that first show that I saw of you guys was that escape for that night from all the things that I was dealing with. And then COVID happened, and as we all did, we all struggled heavily during COVID, and I really did. And when Rocket Pro came back, I made sure that I was going to be at that first show when you guys came back at Darkness Falls 2021, and those shows were my escape to try to help me find me again. And when I got the call from Chet Gunderson to do the Chet entrance, I didn't even know what to say, because I never even thought about, you always talk about oh man, wouldn't it be cool if you got involved in wrestling and getting to do stuff? And you all know I have my limitations, with my eye and
We
everything
all-
like that. And, you know, I never ever thought I would have ever had the chance to do anything that I have done with you guys. And I am forever grateful. You guys don't realize it, but you guys saved me. And I will
that's nice, man.
forever be appreciative of that.
Well, and again, you guys, you and the rest of the guys have made an impact that nobody else has. If you could take a look around at other wrestling companies, and really nobody else has a fan base like we do that are this involved, that their lives, just like ours, revolve around this show. You know what it's like to take all this time to pour it into this show because you guys are a part of the family. I recognized that right away. Chet recognized it immediately, came to me and said, hey, must do for this. And I'm like, fine, let's just do whatever you want. It's your baby. So when he got rid of No Coast, the answer was you, and LIM was formed. So it's really, really cool to have you guys with us and to do all that. And we're happy to be here and happy to have you guys as part of the family, because without you, there is no Rocket Pro. I mean, really, we've all worked to increase attendance and to have more fun with it, but we listen to each other. We react to each other. We know what the other person is saying, what they're feeling, and that feeling gets put into the show, which is beneficial to all of us. So thank you.
No, the pleasure's all mine. And just I'm grateful to have such a great working with relationship with you guys. And I think I speak for all of us where we can't wait to see where the things go from here between us and Rocket Pro and where Rocket Pro is going to be in the next 5 years. And we'll be along with it every step of the way.
Yep, you sure will.
Double J, any parting thoughts?
I mean, I like everyone has said, thank you for everything. I wouldn't make the hour 15 drive from all the way up North Chicago for anything else. It's what brings me back. Even my own family lives out there, and I only come back just for you all, because you all mean that much to me.
Oh, thank you
Thanks.
guys.
We're looking forward to the next show.
You guys are the best, really. You're very kind and considerate, and you're maybe intoxicated, but you really are a lovely group of men.
Yeah, but you got 31 years experience with that. So
I do, don't I?
No, I'm impressed with the way that our fans do everything. WWE doesn't even have fan groups that name themselves.
What about Green Shirt Guy?
That's not a fan group. They don't have a fan group.
Guy.
They don't have a fan group that is like the LIM. They don't have a fan group like the Fabulous Idolizers. They don't have fan wars with the leaders of those groups doing promo. I'm sure there's some weirdo somewhere doing something like that, but not to the point where we do, where we just took a fan and put him in a match, and the crowd wanted to see that because they know who LIM is. They know sort of know who the three Fabulous Idolizers are. But in all seriousness, no, they're great people. But you do the Santino sucks. You got him involved with it. And when the Rocket Boys were here and weren't busy with college, they had their own t-shirts made, for God's sakes. So we've got separate fan groups. Nobody else does that. Not a single person says, this is the kind of fan I am for WWE, and I'm wearing this. We're starting a group and I'm making shirts. Nobody does that. So, I mean, that's something that I hope grows with RPW. It's just RPW. Everybody should be thinking that that LIM is right there with it, kind of thing.
Absolutely, and I would say I think I speak for all of us when I say that's definitely our goal. But now, with all of that being said, I think we're getting ready to close the tab on this episode. I want to thank everybody who stopped by this evening. Bill Schelli, Maximus Orion, welcome to the team of fabulous, wonderful, drunk guys talking about wrestling. Thank you to Smiley McGee. It's a shame he had to go fix those roller coasters at like 9 o'clock at night.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
That he's gotta do. But we always close this episode, well, every episode, with 3 little words. And I think we all know what's coming. And I'm going to count us down. 3, 2, 1.
Shut up, Santino.